to see TFM Dan and Briar. So this is going to be an Amber Emerald versus an Amethyst Steel. We've seen a ton of Amethyst Steel today.
A ton of Amber Emerald as well. But we do have Dan on this deck, and I was talking to him a little bit beforehand, and I saw that you also were talking to him a little bit beforehand. And I was super, super excited because he was playing what I have tried to dig into the ground and say, hot dog, it's not dogs. But he did inform me that there are quite a few dogs in this list.
Absolutely.
And I got mad. I was a little upset.
Setting the record straight there.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's been a little confusing, okay? There's a couple different lists out there. We've been talking about it. I've heard Liam explaining the 3 different versions of the list, but this one is 100%. It's got dogs in there, okay? So the dogs are going to be out to play, and it looks like Dan is going to be on the play, so we are jamming a big Webby into the Inkwell, playing out a Lady and passing it on over. What do you think his strategy is going to be? Just go as explosive as possible, or because he has maybe some of those later game plays, it might not be as explosive coming out of the gate?
I think it depends. I mean, us being on the play, it really makes sense to me to where I do know that there is a particular card in this deck that is going to make me lose my mind when it comes out. But I think at this point we are going to go a little bit faster too, keeping in mind that steel remover, trying to play bigger bodies to make sure that we are able to continuously go wide. And I think we are going to go play a Bobby on 2, which is not necessarily what we want to do, but that's okay because we can play a reduced cost tramp, but we did discard the Stitch Carefree Surfer into our discard, and that is the indicator that Circle of Life is in that deck, and I am so excited to see it. However, this is not the deck he was playing in the LCCCC. This is actually a blend of the two, as we went for a Bobby into a Lady and then a no quest. Because, again, we have the Surfer Stitch into the discard. We opted not to quest into that Captain Hook because we are trying to build singers. So that gives us a total of 3 singing power on the board. And I'm not sure if Shanti's in this deck, but if she is, then we will be able to sing on turn 4 and have a Carefree Surfer in play.
Absolutely. We are well on our way to a Circle of Life. On the other side of the board, Briar playing that Calhoun down for 2 inks. So we've got a lot of defense ready, but as you pointed out, Color, Dan is not exerting these characters, at least not yet. So clearly he's got a plan here, and there it is. The story writes itself, folks. That is what we are here to say. You knew that Shanti was coming down, and now we can sing for 8 next turn if we want to, bringing that Surfer Stitch into play. And if nothing gets taken off of this board, we're also going to be able to draw 2 cards from that Surfer Stitch when it hits the board. So definitely,
this is Dan living my dreams, because here we are. We've got Lady is a 0/3, and there's too much strength in it. So we're going to actually have to play a character and then hard play and then potentially get rid of the Bobby, and that is the only way we get out of this and how to stop the singing. Now, Briar is in the, we're going on. He's 4-1. So is Dan. Maybe he knows this deck, but we're not going to do anything to get rid of those singers. We're going to play a Cheshire Cat and pass.
I mean, sometimes, Color, it's just about the patience. Patience is a virtue, and Briar here saying, you know what, I'm not going to make it all awkward and play out this strength and get rid of your singers. Maybe he doesn't think he has it. So we are going to see.
Oh, but we're going to go get it with the biggest tramp of them all. God, this card. I apologize for you having to be in the booth with me during this situation. We didn't find it. Did we find it? We got to discard a card. We got to discard 4 cards.
This tramp comes down. Plenty of cards.
But that's the thing is, like, this deck makes my brain tingle in a way where I'm like, this is what I want to be doing. This is actually how I want to play Disney Lorcana. So I get obscenely and ridiculously excited about this deck in particular. And when we see this Tramp Street Smart Dog come in, I arguably one of the best cards in this game.
Absolutely. And the thing about this, that you mentioned that you love a deck like this is what you want to be doing. For me, looking at Dan's face, seeing him discard cards, for me, this is why I don't want to play this deck, because I get the choice Shanti's paralysis. Yeah, because look, you have to make these hard decisions. You have to choose which cards are going to go into the discard. And now, being in Dan's position, he has decided, we can't see what's in his hand, but he has decided that he has to get rid of those other singers. But maybe it is because he found it. So we're waiting to see. He did not get it. So that's the hard part about that tramp sometimes, is you get to see so many cards, but then you also have to let go of so many.
Oh, I know. And that's the thing is, like, a lot of times, I was talking about this before, and there was an Aurora in his LCCCCC, the L333 match, and it does act like a third Shanti, or a fifth Shanti, because that card is so good that I was saying that card is basically uninkable in this matchup. Now, with the dogs, it does change the play patterns a little bit, but we did see, like, we were going for that line, and that second Cheshire Cat into an Olaf, and we are going to start questing, and that's going to be the problem, is now we can get rid of that Shanti. Now, that's fine. You built up the board, you got rid of our Shanti, you see now we have 3 of them in the discard. That is an actual tragedy, but Bobby and Tramp can still sing Circle of Life, and that actually might not be as good as potentially... gosh, even Under the Sea, I was like, even Under the Sea, because, like, we are... Briar is doing an amazing job of basically getting rid of... It's negating Under the Sea and also negating the fact that, like, sick, you put a Stitch on the board. I don't care. Oh, no.
Oh, and we are going to shift a Tramp on top of our other Tramp. Now, both of these Tramps are big, but this one is a little bit bigger. And what this Tramp is going to allow to happen, which we're not questing yet, but is when any of Dan's characters, I believe, are challenged or banished in a challenge, he's going to then be able to draw a card. So he's identifying, okay, Amethyst Steel has plenty of threats on this other side of the board. I'm going to have to quest out eventually. When I do, I want to draw into better cards and cards that I can actually use. So we're getting that dog down to be able to help us hopefully draw some answers.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can kind of see it on Dan's face. Like, we need to get to those answers quickly. And now, they were like, oh, well, questing. You're questing. That makes sense to me. Even Under the Sea is only really going to get rid of that Olaf, the Captain Hook, and the Genie, which is like, fine. But I do know that in the other list, which I keep referencing because I don't know your deck list, you put dogs in it, you absolute traitor. But I do know it does have the Mean, Malicious, and Scary plus the Prince Philip combo in it. And that is another favorite of mine to do, is turn 1 Bobby, draw, discard a Prince Philip, pass. Why would I do that? Why would I discard a Prince Philip on turn 1? I don't know, but you better figure it out. And that seems to be our only way out at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit difficult for Dan. I think the deck that Dan is playing, he wants to be the aggressor, and not being able to do that right now. He also doesn't have a lot of strength to be able to answer back this board that we're looking at on Briar's side. So this Webby's going to help a little bit. It's going to give +1 to a character. It looks like he's thinking about it. He might have pointed to that lady. But
hey, one of the ladies, we get to figure, she's now a 2/2 because of the Webby when she comes in. So that now buffs her up. She's not a 2/2. She's a 2/3. And it actually buffs up both of them. No, it doesn't. It buffs up one Webby, becomes a 2. My goodness. This is why dogs, you leave them in the bulk bin where they belong, Melissa.
Whoa,
I'm kidding.
Whoa. We are getting some fighting words early.
One lady is now a 2 strength. The other one is now a 1 strength because of the ability. But we are going to shift it, which means that lady is now a 4, 5, 6 1 because of... She sees herself when she comes into play. She also has the 2+2 buff from Webby, so she's actually a 6/4 as we go ahead and challenge in to...
We're challenging something. We're challenging the Cheshire Cat. And you know what? Dan is hearing us here in the booth saying, hey, you don't think I have any strength? Well, let me show you strength, okay? And he's coming out of the gate. He's being able to come in here and do these challenges and actually... His characters are fine, right? He's not having to trade them out. So this is really, really great to see from our newfound Golden Mickey winner, because it was looking not so great, and we took a poor situation and we really made it into something amazing. So it's just credit to this to this player's ability, and I'm sure to his familiarity with this matchup, because Amethyst Steel is one that, if you're playing Lorcana right now, you're up against. So I'm sure Dan's tested against it, and it speaks to it, because that was a really great play that I think he made there.
Oh, no, that was absolutely amazing. And again, like that really interesting ability where you have lady and she does come in and see herself when you shift on top of it. I know that's like something that a lot of players miss as well, as like, oh, she actually comes in when you shift, she becomes a challenging 5/4, but because of the Webby, she's a 6/4, which, you know, was a little bit of an overkill on that, but that tramp being absolutely humongous as it takes the Captain Hook and the Calhoun into that to be able to clear it to give Briar the 2 lore from that. Now, we do have all these characters on here as the Cheshire Cat comes back down. Now, that one is a Whisper Foil. And let me tell you, those Amethyst Whisper Foils are so good. Well,
yeah, okay.
Do
So
a little bit of a dice dance.
We are figuring out, yes, the dice dance there, figuring out where is the best option for that damage to go.
That's
and
gone genie. The genie's gone.
And,
No, it's not. That's a damn family dog. Oh my goodness.
We are
Too
here.
many dogs.
We are here. We are halfway through the day. Okay, and we are feeling it. But we're figuring it out. And you know what? Don't forget that Webby down in the corner there. Okay, Dan's board has been cleared, but not entirely because that Webby is still there. So who knows? But Briar is navigating this excellently, I have to say. Really just doing a great job keeping Dan off of it. But you know, Dan
coming on back with a Lady Tramp 1-2 combo punch into the Webby, and Webby got hands and took on a Marine Sergeant.
Absolutely. So he's using that Tramp to buff up that Webby and to be able to take that out, which is hard for a Webby to do, to take out a Calhoun. So Briar, though, going to be playing this Hades.
Right.
Looking for the deal.
We're not making deals.
But, well, the deal is made. It's gone to the bottom of the deck, and I think Dan's saying, you know what, I don't want you to have any more cards right now, because it doesn't look like Dan has any cards. So I think he's saying, okay, I need to kind of mitigate the card lead here, the hand size lead, and hopefully at least be able to get some of these things back off your board like I've been able to do. But I do think he's going to need a bit of a top deck to make it happen.
Yeah, and I would say it's like the Hades where we see the Shanti, the fourth
Shanti.
One. Okay, that's the one we needed. And hopefully we're going to draw one of those songs, because notably this has been a very quiet, songless song deck, as we do see another deal to be made. You can draw those 2 cards. I need the Shanti. This is the best card in my deck. Absolutely. I always like to say, if I put it on the bottom of the deck, that's me. I didn't make the deal. So I'm looking to make a deal. I said no. It goes on the bottom of your deck. But if I let you draw 2 cards, fine, I'll make that deal.
Okay.
So I like the denial. Like, you absolutely not. You put that on the bottom of your deck and you do not draw cards, and you enjoy your 5-drop 3/4.
I mean, this is I think we also saw, I mean, on Briar's side, like having 2 of these Hades back to back is really tough, but also this evasive battle right now. I mean, even the Cheshire Cat not being evasive, but having that 4 willpower. Briar at 12 lore to Dan 0 is in a very dominating position. And I think if you're Dan, you have to be wondering, where did it all go wrong?
No songs.
Yeah, it looks like we are just going to go ahead and scoop it up. And, you know,
Circle of Life. It is an unhinged nightmare, and it will make you laugh, and it's actually kind of a bop. So as we do see the lady coming down on turn 1, this is a determined lady, the decisive lady dog.
And the Captain Hook Forceful Duelist once again on Briar's side. I'm curious to see this time. Maybe we don't want to see a Bobby Zimmerowski. Maybe we want to see something else
Scrooge
come
McDuck
down
right now.
So it looks like we are getting ready to jam something into the inkwell, but I do think we're going to be wanting to put a little bit of that lore pressure on early.
No,
but
it is. It's another lady. Oh, we're going for the lore. We're like, we're not doing any flashy plays. We're not taking the Circle of Life line. We are moving, grooving, and that lady is going to quest for 3 if she so chooses. Now, however, we're not going to do that, because if we did, we would lose it. And I guess that's another push and pull again with this deck, is like maybe we do have the Shanti on 3 and we are able to go ahead and take that gamble of the...
Absolutely. And Briar is sticking true to the lines here, playing the Captain Hook, then going into the Calhoun, saying, listen, you can build up this board all you want, but I am ready to take it down, and I can do so very cleanly. So this is interesting to see how Dan is going to react. He's seen this happen before, but now he's got to make some changes. Yeah. And what's interesting about this is he's correctly identifying, I cannot just quest out. I need to be patient. I need to set up, like you were saying, and see what's going to happen. So Briar looking like he's going to ink this Tinkerbell Fast Flyer. It's not really what he wants to do right now. And we're going to see if he puts down a 3-drop to hopefully get ready to sing
Oh,
straight.
there's a critical mass of 3-drops in the Amethyst and Steel deck, and especially with the Cheshire Cat coming in, I am assuming that is the only 3-drop I really want to be playing. But we're going to go for something different. Just kidding. It's back. It's weird. You're doing that. It's the
We're
Lexington.
dice dancing.
Yeah.
We're card dancing. We're figuring it out. But we settle on this Lexington. So powerful card, can sing as well. We just don't want to have too many cards in hand. But we do have the strength, so we know that we do have that option available to us.
I see. I kind of like that. So you basically what you do is you set this up. You play the Lexington. You sing the Strength of a Raging Fire. We do see the Tramp come down. Please, Lord, let it be good for cards that we're going to draw and discard. I kind of see. So we didn't play any filter at the beginning because we are going to just get that Tramp trigger. Hey, there we go. Stitch into the discard. Webby's also pretty good if you're playing against Sapphire, which we're not. And then the Lady and the Scrooge. Literally one of the best cards in the deck is that Scrooge McDuck. But again, we sing the Strength of a Raging Fire with the Lexington. That now he's Stone by Day. He doesn't ready, but he's still a 4/4. So even the fact that we cannot ready him, if you want to challenge into him, your whole board is not going to be able to withstand that. And you're not challenging with that Tramp. You're not. That's not what we're doing.
No, it's not what our Tramp wants to do for sure. We are going to send this Timothy Q Mouse into the ink. We're going to tap 3, play that Cheshire Cat. So now, if we choose to use the Strength of a Raging Fire, it is going to go for 4. But I would guess that that's not what we necessarily want to do here because we don't have any high priority targets right now. We do want to get some of those singers off the board, but our biggest singer, our most prominent singer, has a willpower of 6, so we can't use that strength yet. We might want to wait to leverage that card next turn once we can play out some more characters, but that is going to buy Dan some time. If Dan has a song, he can tap 2 of these characters, one of the 1-drops alongside his big Tramp in order to sing that Circle of Life and get that Surfer Stitch on the board, which is what we were trying to avoid in the first place.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that. Again, like Under the Sea is not a song that we're going to really care about singing at this point because, again, we've got 3, 4, 3, and then like Captain Hook can go over to a Gust of Wind. So we really don't care about that. Briar absolutely setting up to make sure that an Under the Sea looks hysterical for in your hand. Anyway, not hysterical, but sometimes, it'd be like that. But we are... Surfer Stitch is still very, very, very good. Now, unfortunately, what's going to happen, and I see him immediately. So he's got the Circle of Life. We got 7, 8, boom, off to the side. That's what we're doing. Singing
there
Circle
it is,
of Life.
there it is.
Now we're going to see what we get. Stitch, Carefree Surfer, much better on 4, still great on 3 ink. Insane amount of 2 draw because we are able to have those extra 2 characters to get that draw. And now, what did we get? Did we get anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's very smart for Dan here to do this first because he now effectively gets to see 3 cards, right? So he drew for turn, and then he got to do the Circle of Life to then see, wow.
Now we get the strength.
Nice.
You can't have it. It's mine.
Oh, and taking that strength is going to feel absolutely brutal here. But, I mean, you've got to take it. Well, you literally have to take it because of the mobility.
A moment to realize how many characters on the board now. This is what I wanted, people. This is why I was like... just like in my seat is because you're able to Tramp. You sing it with the Lady. We still haven't quested with the Tramp and the Lady. That's fine. By the way, that Lady and that Lady actually have the ability to quest for 3 lore because of the buffs, because of all the characters, but we're not. We're keeping them up. We're keeping them sideways because we just took the Strength of a Raging Fire with a free Mowgli from our Lady family dog, and we do have an Elsa Spirit of Winter, and that's fine. You can exert some stuff. What are you gonna slam your entire board into my Stitch? Please do it. I already drew my 2 cards.
Yeah, I mean, this is not where Briar wants to be in comparison to last game. This is a totally different game now. So Dan's deck really showing that, hey, once it gets off the ground, once it starts doing the things that it wants to do, it really packs a punch. And so, yeah, we can exert some things and try to get what little bit of characters we can off of this board, but it's not going to feel great because it's just simply so wide. So we are going to use, it looks like Lexington and Elsa to do that 6 strength. We're then going to use that Calhoun to get rid of one of those ladies. That is going to get us some lore. So that feels good.
We are notably 2-0. So, I mean, I was yelling and jumping up and down about this wide board, and now we are kind of taking that out. Notably, the ladies having 0 strength. So Calhoun having resist doesn't matter. 0 minus, it's fine. Resist is great. But again, we did put a little bit of damage here and there. I don't know if Prince Philip is in this deck. That would be unhinged if it wasn't. But at the same time, this could be a more conservative version of that where we are not inclined to put that combo in the deck. But again, I'm so greedy, and man, I love doing that. Circle of Lifing a Prince Philip after you sing him Lame, Malicious, and Scary is hilarious. But we do another tramp here would be awesome. But we are going to
speaking of another tramp.
Okay, not that tramp, the other tramp.
Different tramp. So what this tramp allows us to do, like I said, is whenever one of our characters, I believe it's whenever one of our characters is challenged or banished, we get to draw a card. So that is gonna. Here we go. Yeah. So the
opponent's turn.
Dapper Rascal. It is during an opponent's turn. Yes. Whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card. But that's okay because Dan doesn't want to banish his own characters. In fact, he wants to turn them sideways and say, okay, now you swing into my whole board, and I'm going to draw cards for every single one you do it so I can continue to flood the board.
Notably, Tramp says whenever you're one of your characters, he does count himself. So whenever Tramp is banished on your opponent's turn, you will draw cards for that.
Yes, absolutely. And also, I want to point out that even with that Cheshire Cat being able to move some damage around, Dan has done a great job staying in command of this board. So there's only 3 characters on Briar's side. Dan's got plenty. I think he's got 5 characters on board here. They've got plenty of strength. And now, even if we do Cheshire Cat shenanigans, even if we do some challenging, it doesn't matter because we're going to be able to draw cards to refill the board.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I love Surfer Stitch and Set 1 because of that reason. Because if you could throw a Surfer Stitch right before a Be Prepared, you did not care. You just drew the 2 cards that you really wanted to. And again, those resources back in that day, if you were trying to play Amber, like drawing 2 cards is basically like drawing 3 cards, and that's literally Rapunzel. But at the same time, yeah, and that's the thing is, once Surfer Stitch comes down, he does his job. He gives you the 2 cards. He's a 4/8. You have to commit so much to getting rid of this carefree surfer that you're not as carefree as the surfing new dog is over here.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, we can see Briar here. He has boosted, but he is still deciding where this damage is going to go. It looks like he wants to put it on that Stitch Carefree Surfer, but it's not an easy decision and where it comes from. So if he does put the damage up to 5 on that Surfer Stitch, he can then swing this Lexington or the Cheshire Cat, which doesn't seem like he wants to.
He can't re-swing the Elsa because it doesn't do anything. That is the creepy little math that is going on. So yeah, sure, that's 5, but if I swing into it, that's still only 7 damage. So Surfer Stitch still sticks around. You're going to have to trade into it to do anything of note, and that's a Lexington. I wanted you to get rid of that, and now I'm going to draw a card. Surfer Stitch replaces himself.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, you got to be feeling good having that Tramp Rascal down, allowing us to be able to draw cards back up. It was all part of the master plan, you have to be thinking, and there we go. We're drawing another card again. So it's kind of a double-edged sword for Briar here. He's saying, hey, I can start clearing your board, but looking at Dan, every single time, calm, cool, collected, drawing another card off of the top for every character that gets banished.
Oh, it's like, again, I mean, it has to do when you have like Diablos on libraries and then they Be Prepared because they have no other option, and you're like, sick, I will draw my whole deck. And that is basically like we're building situation. Maybe that's why this is like tickling the fancy, because I'm like, this reminds me, like, you banish my characters, I'm drawing cards, I get to bring things back, and then now I'm putting stuff on the board that I don't care. I've just done things.
We're doing another Circle of Life, so we are
doing it. Get the Stitch back. Get the Stitch back. Get the Stitch back.
We're getting the Super Stitch back. So Dan is drawing cards, and it is in a very unconventional fashion.
Favorite thing, it is my favorite thing with Circle of Life is every once in a while in the game you'll hear your opponent, didn't I just get rid of that? Yes, you did. It's back, and it's better than ever. It's the card you just spent your whole turn banishing. Boom, do it again.
I mean, at least now, if we had to try to find a bright side for Briar here.
I'm so sorry, Briar.
Yeah, you're not happy to see this. But on the bright side, now we can banish that Tramp first, so we can mitigate some of the card draw. But it's not feeling good. I mean, we do have 2 Cheshire Cat inexplicables on Briar's side, so we are going to be able to, move some of that damage around. But you're not happy to see. Oh, you're just not happy to see see. Well, Color's very happy actually to see what's going on.
I'm like manic at this point. This is insane. I love this so much. And it's because of that, right? You're like, didn't I just devote my entire turn to getting rid of this? Yes, you did. And again, we saw game one. We saw what happens when this deck does not find the song that it wants to find. And that's what we want to do. We want to sing Circle of Life. We want to play Tramp. We want to chain into Circle of Life, into Tramp, into more stuff, into Lady, into Free. But when you don't find that, the deck does not work. And if the deck isn't working, you kind of look like you brought a bad deck.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's showing itself. It's saying, hey, this isn't a bad deck. It just had a rough, that's a dog pun.
I hate it here. You and Liam are going to kill me today.
So had a little bit of a rough start, but it is back. It is back, and it is in full swing. And you know what? We say it every time here in the casting booth, but this is how we want it to be. We want these games to be back and forth. We want to go to a game 3. We never want to see, Dan's deck not work 2 games in a row. So we want to see Briar thinking, showing us what he's got. And what he's got is a dock hitting the table, allowing him to draw 2 cards. Now, I didn't get to see quite what they were.
Now, notably, I will say, now, the Tramp is a 4, right? No, he's an 8 willpower, isn't he?
He definitely has 8 willpower for sure.
Kidding.
Yeah, we can bring up the Tramp Rascal one more time. This is not a card you typically see. So he only swings back for 2, but he's got 8.
Yeah, he's got 8. That's crazy. Unfortunately, I was like, oh, we could go ahead and sing. No, you can't. So you're going to have to still dedicate your board. Again, like you said, he's only punching back for 2. So we're only doing 2 damage here and there. We have 2 Cheshire Cats, so we can go ahead and boost that one. Because
we used one of them. So this is now us using our second one.
Correct.
And now we can use one of our Cheshire Cats to finish it off. Dan is going to get to draw a card. Is he going to get to draw 2? That is a fun little rules question.
Yes, he does, because Tramp sees himself.
Counts himself. So there you go.
Draw from the Tramp. Draw from the other Tramp. Draw 2. Dan he got it. He's like, that's...
Draw 2 Dan. I like that name. That's a good name.
Draw 2.
Draw 2 Dan.
And that's the thing is, like, we had to get rid of one of those Tramps, because even if you just, like, popped that Mowgli and didn't think about it, he was going to get 2 cards from the Mowgli. He was going to get 2 cards from the Dapper Rascal. So taking the Dapper Rascal and devoting that much of your turn to getting rid of that one character. Now, have you seen Circle of Life and slams another Dapper Rascal?
A third Circle of Life. Please, no more Rascals.
I will not be able to breathe anymore, people.
We cannot take any more Rascals. And that's the thing with these decks. This Dapper Rascal is...
Oh, we didn't need a Bobby? Oh, we didn't need a Bobby.
Oh, we don't even need the Circle of Life.
We just hard-played it. When did we get this much ink? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man, we are doing everything that we want to do. We are having a great time. Yes, that's Surfer Stitch. You can see it. Notably, when you get to play, when you play it and you have 2 other characters on board, you get to draw 2 cards.
We have the third Circle of Life. We have it.
Oh, here we go.
That is a reanimator strategy. That is we are getting our stuff back out of the discard. Like formation of discards.
Something's coming back.
You know what I mean? Like, what is that? The organizing is just like absolute. When you fan it out like that, we got tricks for days.
Oh yeah, something might be coming. There's no way there's a third Circle of Life. There's no way. You'd never see a third.
I would
Circle
play
of Life.
7 in a deck if they allowed me to do it. I looked at the cauldron like, are you like you look at a cauldron and you squint at it and you're like, is this Temu Circle of Life? Is this what No, it's not. No. It's not as good, but we are going to. Sing Circle of Life.
And bring back the Dapper Rascal. Oh my goodness.
Didn't I just get rid of this thing? Look at him. That's the face. Didn't I just banish that?
Oh,
my goodness.
You have got to be feeling great if you are Dan, and unfortunately for Briar, it is just not his round. But that's okay because he got the last one. And everybody gets to have fun here, okay? Dan didn't get to have fun the first game because his deck didn't do the thing. Now it's doing the thing. We're all having a great time, okay?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is what I love about this deck. Now, notably, we have played 3 Circle of Lives in a deck, and what we've only accomplished is 2 lore.
Now,
because if you are singing, you are not questing. Yep. But Briar has been banished a little bit in this. His entire spirit has been banished a little bit because you're looking at this board and you're like, yo, wait, is this a 2-turn clock? Like, do you just if you just start questing as opposed to doing these silly shenanigans, is that it? Yeah, sure. Tap down the 4/8 or whatever, and then I'm going to play this. And again, It's a lot. It's an uphill battle from here.
It's
It
an uphill
really
battle
is
for
a
sure.
lot of willpower on the board. We do have 7 ink, which is like ridiculous, but we didn't do anything. Oh my goodness, no.
Yeah,
we didn't want you to draw cards.
Yeah, it's hard. The Dapper Rascals, 2 of them, and continuing to just come back. You can't get rid of these things. It makes it tough, and you're right. We are only at 2 lore.
Did you? Oh no, you found a lady. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did you find 2 ladies?
There's never a 4th circle of life, but there is a lady coming down the pipeline.
So you get back. Oh my goodness, this is disgusting. Oh my gosh.
So what I was gonna say is we only have 2 lore, but our board is getting so hard to deal with.
It's a lady. Bonk. Get that back.
Oh goodness.
Then get those back, and then when you get those back, then you can go and filter for more of those, and then. Scrooge is such a good card.
We're having a great time. We're having a great time, and Dan's having an even better time.
That's the 8th Shanti that we've played. And we are going to... That's what I was about to say. We're getting this back because I know that we have another lady in hand that we're about to play something for free, which is that lady. And then we can... Oh, my gosh.
Who said this wasn't a dog's deck? The dogs are out.
I know it was a
Who
dog.
Who let the dogs out?
It was Dan.
Dan. He let them out, and they are running amok.
Look at... I've never seen anyone poke the iPad that many times in a row as we go from 2 to 11 lore. My goodness.
And you know what? Yeah, I was gonna say,
what?
Credit to Briar. Dan doesn't. He says he's going to Disney World tomorrow, so I don't know if he's going to make it. If he makes it to the top cut. So.
He's got to get in, get it real quickly, and then get to Disney World. Yeah, we're not doing rope drops tomorrow, Dan, if you keep winning. So keep that in mind.
Exactly, no rope drops. So we are going to see a Captain Hook. Hey, that's been all 3 games, okay? We like the strategy. We're sticking to it, okay? On the other side, we are going to play that lady. And this is why we like the Captain Hook, because she has 3 willpower, and that Captain Hook has Challenger +2, so it can always take it out. This is interesting. We're going to go for this Timothy Q Mouse.
We're going to go under the combo deck.
Are we going to go under it, or did we just not have the Calhoun that we enjoy, and so we had to do it?
I mean, yeah, definitely. There are way less 2-drops in this deck, which I think that is why Frank Karsten ended up adding our Timothy Q Mouse in there to give us a little bit more in terms of that. But we are finally getting to play the Scrooge McDuck Shush Agent, and I love this card for the flavor because as soon as you challenge into him, he actually goes back to hand. So he's bobbing and weaving. You can't hit Scrooge McDuck. He's already gone.
Absolutely. He's kind of, in a weird way, he's kind of like a Lilo, where you can just keep bringing that Lilo back. Every time you challenge this duck, he's just going to keep coming back. So
I love him.
Lots of cards that don't go away in Dan's deck here. I don't think he's playing the Lilo, but we do see this Donald Duck. And with that Circle of Life, nothing goes away. Everything keeps on coming back.
It's the Circle of Life, people. It's back.
In a circle, as it were. So we're looking over at Briar's side. He's getting ready to go to that 3-ink turn. It looks like he's electing not to play a 3-drop in the form of Giant Cobra, and instead going to be playing a 2-drop Royal Vizier, Jafar, and also a Palace Guard. So...
Now, hold on. Now, okay, I can kind of see this.
This is interesting.
It's evasive on your turn. So basically, the Jafar does count as evasive on your turn. And so the Timothy Q Mouse does quest for 2 here. Dan being like, wait, is that the... Nope, that's the 2-drop Jafar. That's not our 3-drop pump Jafar. So Jafar's looking about the same all across the board. Shout out, John Cobra should have been a Jafar. Moving on. There are no singers on board.
No singers on board, and yeah, this Timothy Q Mouse with that 4 willpower against 0 strength, and 0 strength is feeling pretty good, especially like you said when you said on our turn we have that Jafar going evasive to continue to build up that Timothy Q Mouse. So we don't care. We're gonna play more Ducks, or Scrooge McDuck, excuse me. We're going to play more Scrooge McDucks.
Mr. McDuck, if you will. Shout out Launchpad McQuack. However, this is only 5 singing power as we go ahead and throw our 3rd duck into the discard. Too many Scrooges on the dance floor is what Dan says as he throws his 3rd Scrooge McDuck into the discard. And now we got to play a 1-drop. We got to get some more singing power onto the board. What are we looking for? Play a Bobby. Get there. Get where we need to be. Don't pass the turn. Don't you do it.
Well, he's exerting that ink, so it leads me to believe that he has something that he wants to do here.
A 2-drop tramp? That would be good because
that would be great.
It's reduced to cost by if you have a lady on board, so we can throw a 2-drop tramp out there. And that will get us a little bit closer to Singin' Town, and there we are.
Yeah, that is going to come down, so we are going to be able to...
7. Oh, that's such a poop number to be. I hate that. Sorry. That's how my math works. That's what my brain does. I'm like, okay, sick. If we go 1 drop, 2 drop Shanti. That's 8 singing power onto the board by turn 4. If we go 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, it's not a lot. Even if we were to do like an Ursula Vanessa on 2, that's still 7. And for some reason, 7 singing power is so far away from 8 singing power that it is just insane. As we do see the Strength of a Raging Fire, which we will hard cast next turn, probably getting rid of one of those Scrooge McDucks.
But something that we were trying to figure out, and it looks like we didn't end up finding it, was if we were going to have enough strength to banish that Timothy Q mouse. And maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Either way, we didn't elect to do so because that tramp is going to be able to buff things up.
We're singing.
Yeah,
we've got to get there.
We're
going to shift sing.
So we're deciding not to exert our characters, yes, so we can shift and sing. On the other hand, speaking of not singing, Briar is not going to be able to sing this
what's the right
strength,
answer?
but he is going to be able to hard
choose
play
wisely.
it, and he is going to choose to get rid
such a better player than I was.
That shift target.
I would have gotten rid of the shush agent because I'm insane. But yes, the tramp was absolutely it. We saw the shifting, we saw the shenanigans, we saw it happen, and Briar said, absolutely not. I will take my entire turn to make sure that you don't do that stuff.
And here's the thing about what Briar is doing as well. He is delaying Dan just like he did back in game 1. So he's delaying him, but he's also slowly but surely advancing his own lore pressure. And so even though some people may look at this as, well, we're only at 5, we're also all the way up to 5 already.
And that glass half full situation.
Yeah,
look
at that.
That's beautiful.
But because if you're looking over at Dan's side of the board, again, there's no challenging that's happening here. What we're trying to do is sing. So
all right. So again, that strength went off on our little tramp. Now we have this other tramp that we're gonna play, and that will be able to filter through our deck, but we're gonna draw 3, but we're gonna discard 3. And sometimes when you don't have a lot of cards in hand, keeping 1 card in an applicable situation, it's like it has to exactly be Circle of Life so I can get something good out of the discard, because if it's not, and I will say there's a little bit of the push-pull with that, because a lot of times in the other deck there's the Malicious Mean and Scary and there's the Prince Philip combo, and I really can only really keep 1 card, and it's hard to hold on to the 2 cards to be able to combo off and do that. So I can understand why this maybe the dog Circle of Dogs is like a little bit better in terms of that, even though I don't know why. I think it's because Dogs is so hard to play, and then you add this into it so that it becomes an even more complex deck, because a lot of people, and I think you mentioned it as well, we're trying to quest right off the bat. And it's like, you have to be so patient. You have to keep your singers. And we did draw a Strength of a Raging Fire. My dreams. No.
We draw it, but it's not going to be enough to get rid of our big threat. We are able to get rid of that lady, so we can't potentially shift onto that either. But this is interesting because if we do have, which we haven't seen it in these past 2 games, but if we do have something other than Circle of Life in the form of an Under the Sea, this board, besides that Jafar Royal Vizier, is pretty vulnerable to an Under the Sea. So maybe that is in Dan's deck, but outside of that, you have to think he's not in a very great position, even if he were to find that Circle of Life.
Yeah, and I mean, the Circle of Life is really only going to put a stitch into our hand, and especially if we discarded all of these other things just to be able to hold a Circle of Life. I don't know if that's really what we want to be doing, but again, we haven't seen Under the Sea, and that's kind of to your point. Like, Briar has been playing around Under the Sea, I think, the first 2 games, and now that it is game 3 and we have not seen it, he's feeling a little bit more comfortable to go wide with these 1 and 2 strength characters that would be quite under the seeable. But since we haven't seen it, it's not there. It can't hurt us. As we had to full retail value our lady to go ahead and get back Webby and our tramp.
This is interesting to me because he did have something, which it's not a very high impact card, but it would allow him to filter more. He had something like the Bobby available to him. He elected not to take it. So that tells me that he might not be interested in digging 1 card deeper. Maybe he feels like he does have the pieces in hand and he just needs to wait for the opportunity to actually deploy them. So I'm curious to see what we are going to see coming out of Dan in these next couple of turns, because again, Briar is slowly adding up to that lore total. Is that another strength? I think it is.
Is it the 3rd strength? I need you to chill. I need you to chill. We were trying to double do something. We were trying to double sing. Because we have the tramp plus the Scrooge, and then the lady doesn't actually do it. So what were we trying? What are we doing, Dan? What are we doing?
Dan is the mastermind here. That orange bird is singing those secrets to him. So I'm curious to see what they are cooking up over there. But now this is a great disruption for Briar. I mean, look at that discard pile. To see three strengths in a row.
That's a good disruption, bro. Yeah, if I draw all 3 strengths, I'm just kidding. That was the salty competitive player in me being like, would you drew all 4 strengths at the top 30 cards of your deck? You cheated. I'm just kidding. As we sit here and Dan contemplates his life and why he brought Circle of Dogs.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, he believes in it. He believes in it. He thinks he can do it. And to be fair, it's getting dicey now that we're up to 11, but he was kind of setting himself back up, right? So Dan was continuously being put in this position to rebuild, and he was rebuilding beautifully, right?
Yes.
Having things like that tramp, like that lady, right? Like he was putting the swings, okay? But it wasn't enough because Briar continued to see some really, really great top decks. So now we're going to exert this tramp.
Yeah.
We're going to exert this Scrooge. We are going to play this Circle of Life. We're going to dig 2 cards deeper with this Surfer Stitch, and this has some challenging power, but is it a little too late when we're sitting at 11 lore before we pass the turn on Briar's side? So looking at Dan's facial reaction, it doesn't look like he's found maybe what he wanted, but we're going to continue to play it out anyways.
Oh, wait a minute. Now we can punch a little harder. Do we have another Webby? Oh, we do have the other tramp, though, so we will have to pay 2 for him, I do believe, or we have... Oh, no, we play a lady and then play a tramp. Okay, yo, hold up.
Oh, we're very ink efficient. Absolutely.
Hey, get after it. They're big. He's beautiful. And
another
tramp. Okay, Dan, go for it.
Again, Dan is listening to us here in the booth, and he is saying, hey, I heard you guys thought that I was down, but I am not out, and he is continuing to fire back. Oh my goodness, look at all these cards.
Just discard the whole deck. It doesn't even matter.
But a lot of those were 1-drops, right? So he was able to find. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, Dan. Do it. Buff it up. Take the Timothy Q mouse. We are 11, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
It's enough.
15 lore. We can't even. Okay, we can. Wow. Okay. Briar gets to 15. Cobra would only get us to 17, which is like, that's a lot, but 17 is not 19, is not 20. So basically, we're not really going to win this turn. Dan going 2, 4, 6, 8,
at
10,
least
12,
14, but there's
13,
probably
14,
some buff
15,
shenanigans
16.
with the ladies and the tramp, and now it's, there's, so.
He could, at minimum, go to 16 lore next turn. So.
What a swing.
Elsa, sick.
Sure.
You can take out the Webby. You might probably want to take out the lady, in all honesty, because that is the one that shifts. But again, we also know that the Dapper Rascal can come on and shift. But the Dapper Rascal is quite a big boy, so we need the tramp. Okay, that's crazy. Oh, that's scary. We're going for it.
This is heartbreaking if you're Briar. It was looking so good just a moment ago, and the way
we're fine. We're so in it. We're so in it, probably. Because the Dapper Rascal costs 6, and Dan will be able to ink and just hard play the Dapper Rascal, so it didn't really matter. But we did get rid of the lady, which we can also hard play the lady as well if we need to. But I think the Dapper Rascal is going to be the worst one that we can do. But we are going to have to do some challenging back, as we are still at 11 because it took a lot of our board to go ahead and, get rid of those Scrooge. Scrooge does no damage, but now, guess what? We have filter. We have 2 filter cards in our hand.
We got to pick those cards very specifically.
Bonk.
And we didn't like them, so we kept digging for more.
I know. Oh, my gosh. That's why this is like, I know. He did need to quest. I really think he did. But again, what ends up happening is something breaks in your opponent's brain when you take a turn like this.
That's true.
And they forget that you are at 0 lore. You are at 0 lore. It's fine. If I quest now, there we go. Dan, you got to do some challenging, my dude. I know.
Which is good, because if Dan is challenging,
Dan,
he is not questing.
No.
But speaking of questing,
that's crazy.
He's questing.
That's okay. So we're at 11, 12. Oh no, because he didn't quest it all.
He didn't quest it all.
No.
So he enabled Dan to do this quest here, which brought him up quite a bit. I'm sure the players just forgot to update. There we go. We're gonna get the totals updated.
At 16.
This is absolutely
10, my bad. Okay, because we did challenge it a little
mental.
bit.
What a game this has been, back and forth. And to be fair, on Briar's side, it's not, is it a mistake or is it like, hey, I just didn't feel comfortable giving up my board? Because if I did quest, these tramps, yeah, sure, it's going to take a while, but we would be able to get everything off of this board, and everything would still be healthy afterwards. So maybe Briar was saying, you know what, I don't think I want to quest, even though it could get me a little bit closer, because I'm going to then lose my board and have nothing to answer back when Dan turns sideways.
Yeah, and definitely a rock and a hard place. I mean, playing that many tramps in a turn is like, okay. And again, Dan has no cards in hand, so that is another line that you can take with the tramp. As opposed to keeping like one good card in hand, two good cards in hand, you can just chain tramps together, tramp chain, and like just 2 6s, and then a 4-8, and then now you have like a Vable, you have a shift line. Yeah, he's like, bro, I'm not doing this math.
Briar said the
done.
math is not for me,
No,
and it's like you said, I think it was a brain broken moment for sure.
I think we're here, dude.
Okay.
Not only are we here, you're back. Welcome back again. You did the thing you said you were going to do. You did it, but you did it in style.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that you should have lost that game, but then you didn't.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that last game. That was insane.
So it's kind of tough because, like, obviously his hand was not that great,
Right.
and he was really being held up by 2 strengths that he was able to play like turns back to back. And then when he played the dock and drew the 3rd strength, it was like his 3rd strength in, I don't know, 15 cards maybe, and I was like, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
And then I just like had a really good follow-up turn because it wasn't enough. I think I played 2 or 3 tramps in that turn.
You did.
And then like the best, like what we basically in game 2, what everyone saw was the idea that willpower is king in that matchup. Yeah. So like I have 2 8s and 2 6s and just like 5s, like just so much willpower, and that's like the big deal with that matchup. So it was nice to do it on stream because I got clobbered the other day by Bradley.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bradley, but
Hi, Bradley.
it was nice to have like to show off like, okay, like this is what can happen.
Yes. I mean, so I was talking to our friends at the Forbidden Mountain. You might know these guys. I don't know if you heard of them.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of them.
Have you ever heard of them before?
Yeah.
Great dudes.
Sometimes.
And so, I was talking to Lizard Kitty. I was talking to Colby, and from what I understand, there was a little bit of a mad scientist situation going on this morning. If you don't mind, I know we're still a little. We're not done with this thing. I don't want to reveal the sauce, but talk to me a little bit about some of the modifications you made, and just enough to let people know what they might see, because I have to imagine we're going to see this.
So the really cool thing about this format is that I think that a lot of the ink combinations have a ton of playable cards, and with that, there just breeds creativity. For this deck in particular, I probably have 8 different versions of it on my Dreamborn, right? Like, and that's like the best thing I like about it, because I think Amethyst Steel has those choices. I think Emerald Sapphire has those choices. I think Sapphire Amethyst have those choices. So like, there's a lot of people out there that are really upset and saying like, oh, the format's about this and about that. It's like, it's just not true. There's so much creativity, and it's so much fun, and you get to just like really just explore all these different routes. And that's been my favorite part of today, is like just really just I don't know, like when I want to, I can be a dog and I can just play the dogs game, and then when I don't want to, I can just like combo off and like play a Circle Life and play 3 Stitch Carefree Searchers in turn. It's fun.
Or you can do both. Like
you can do both. You just do both. You just do both.
Why not both? Why not both? And that's what we did. We did both. I mean, that would, if anybody who is trying to learn how to play any variation of this color pairing, you have to watch that match back. If you have any inclination. It can be a very difficult deck to pilot. It can be very tough to pilot. My friend, masterfully done, proving again why you are who you are and why the Golden Mickey is well deserved every single time, my friend. So
thank you.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Not that you need that, but if that's worth anything.
No, it means something. It means something.
Good.
It means a lot.
I appreciate that. But with that said, this is like your 3rd or 4th shout out, but I'm going to give it to you because you earned it.
Again, shout out to the wife. She's at home. She's watching. Hopefully, she was cheering for me. Hi, Kylie. Exactly. The whole team got to watch that crazy game. I didn't even hear like a, oh my god, no, but seriously,
they're like, he did it again.
It was kind of insane. I thought I was dead on the 3rd Strength of Raging Fire. So like the idea that I got out of that game was like pretty cool. So good one to watch back. But yeah, shout out to the team.
First you lost and then you won.
Yeah.
That's the theme of that game.
It was a swing. It was a real big swing.
It was. All right, friends. Well, with that said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw it back to the booth.
Thanks.